This is 3 News Daily.
Hello again, Northeast Ohio, and welcome back to 3 News Daily. I'm Stephanie Haney. Thanks for joining me on this Tuesday, January 10th. I'm here with your top stories from WKYC.com. And we start with a disturbing story out of Medina where a teacher has been charged with crimes against children. 37-year-old Kevin Hedrick is charged with possession of child pornography and trying to meet a teen for sex. The FBI says Hedrick used a social media app and a fake name to message a woman that he thought was the mother of a 14-year-old girl, but he was actually speaking with an undercover agent. Court documents show the messages were about arranging a meeting between Hedrick and the teen. The school district has placed Hedrick on paid administrative leave. That happened back in October. Very disturbing. Now, teachers in Akron public schools are getting closer to a new contract. Last night, the Akron School Board unanimously approved a new agreement, and today, teachers will vote on whether to accept or reject it. Our Lydia Esparra reports.
While this is somewhat of a celebration,
I'm glad that we've made progress. That's what I'd like to say. And finally, the administration has seen, what we're fighting for. So,
the Akron schools have a tentative agreement.
They still need to be safe in the schools.
Safety for teachers like Diane May. She's one of 3 sisters who have been Akron school teachers. She says she's really in it for the kids.
That we don't have a lost generation of kids between the pandemic and disruption in the school, that they don't end up with being way behind.
The school board and the union hashed out a deal late Sunday nights. The school board meeting voting for the contract unanimously. As the rally continued, 11-year-old Quincy Oliphant said this.
They really like to fight for some reason when they should stop fighting.
He goes home every night complaining, not about his safety, but that of the teachers he loves.
And I understand why they are doing this, because the teachers don't get paid enough to deal with these kids because they get because it's basically babysitting.
Thank you for that story, Lydia, and wise words from that 11-year-old young man. Now, Akron teachers tell us that the union vote is happening at Firestone High School tonight at 5:30 p.m. We'll have updates for you when we get those results. And Kia and Hyundai thefts continue across Northeast Ohio. Now, one woman tells our Bree Buckley that even if you do get your car back, the problems don't stop there.
When I picked it up, it was trashed.
For Megan Kay,
So this was totally ripped off and broken.
the nightmare of having her car stolen is continuing long after she got it back.
Nobody can really tell me anything. They've said it's going to take months for the window to come in.
Her Kia was stolen on November 29th from her workplace on the west bank of the Flats. She says it was missing for 12 days, found by police, impounded, and then taken to a repair shop where they were able to fix just one window.
All the parts are backed up. Everything's on back order. All these Kias and Hyundais that have been stolen have just caused, I guess, a pileup of orders.
The shop superglued her busted steering column and used cardboard and some tarp as a temporary fix until parts come in, which they say could easily take months. Her kids' car seats, toys, and other items from the car all stolen.
I'm still using, family's vehicles. I have kids I got to take to school. I have to get to work. So it's stressful.
She says insurance covered 30 days for a rental and wouldn't extend the coverage as she waits for repairs. As for where it was found or any possible suspects, she says police couldn't give her an update.
All I can say is if you own a Kia, trade it in. If your kids are doing this, please get them to stop. They're putting themselves at risk.
Thank you, Bree. So we see it's not over when you get your car back. And just days after Megan's car was stolen too, by the way, one of her coworkers says that they had their car stolen from the same lot. So we are far from done with this. Now for a bizarre story out of South Euclid. A suitcase full of meat led to a local man's 70th arrest. Police say a 62-year-old man from Garfield Heights stole a suitcase from the Walmart in South Euclid and stuffed it with meat that he also stole from the store. The man told police that he planned to sell the meat to local restaurants at half price. Now, when he was arrested, police say he had several active warrants. Obviously, lots of questions here, but my biggest question is, what restaurant did he think was going to buy half-price meat out of a suitcase? And thankfully, they will not get the chance to do that. Now, in other news, Cleveland Mayor Justin Bibb hopes to pump almost $17 million into education programs. He's proposing to invest a total of $40 million in American Rescue Plan federal funds in several areas. He proposed the plan during last night's city council meeting, and he says he also wants to use the $40 million to create jobs, improve workforce development and technology, but he wants most of that money going to education. Our Russ Mitchell sat down with the mayor to learn more.
In this round of ARPA investments, we really wanted to focus on how to support young people to recover from the learning loss they experienced during the pandemic. CMSD made some amazing strides, but a lot of that progress was stalled during COVID-19. Coming out of the pandemic, we saw double-digit declines in reading, math, and science scores, and so we must do a better job of addressing that learning loss.
The full conversation with Mayor Bibb, who, by the way, marks 1 year in office this week, at WKYC.com. All right, who wants to be a billionaire? Because tonight is your chance. The Mega Millions jackpot drawing is now up to $1.1 billion with an upfront cash option worth about $569 million. It's the third highest jackpot in the game's history. Here's what some people say they'd do if they win the money.
If I get lucky and hit, I'm not going to be able to spend all that money. So might as well blow it in the wind.
Gonna live life, go on vacation, just buy a yacht. I don't know. Have fun.
If that first guy wins, you want to be standing downwind from him. Now, there has not been a Mega Millions jackpot winner since October 14th, but here's hoping that changes for one of you tonight. Now, when more people play the lottery, a lot of people think that means more money for schools in Ohio, but legally speaking, it actually doesn't. So at 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. today, I'll be explaining why these big lottery jackpots don't add up to extra dollars for the Ohio Department of Education. It really is fascinating. All right, let's talk science. U.S. Senator Sherrod Brown and NASA Administrator Bill Nelson are meeting up at the NASA Glenn Research Center at 2:30 this afternoon. They'll be talking about Ohio's role in helping NASA's mission to explore Mars and returning astronauts to the moon. Remember, companies right here in Ohio helped contribute to NASA's Artemis 1 mission. Our own Lydia Esparra will have more on this for us this evening. And before we go, today I got the chance to talk with Hoda Kotb from the Today Show. Season 3 of her podcast, Making Space, just dropped, and she was very excited to talk about the lineup this time around. Look at this. So you've had all these incredible guests on the podcast. You have so many incredible guests lined up for Season 3. I have to ask you, is there a moment that sticks out to you most, something that's been really impactful and you've kept with you so far from doing the podcast?
Steve Harvey said something that struck me, and it felt important. You know, sometimes you feel like, why aren't good things happening to me? What is it about me? And he said, every single person in this planet is given a chance, an opportunity, and it'll come to you somehow, some way.
I love that. Making Space debuted in 2021, and now she's continuing the journey of self-discovery and exploring the resiliency of the human spirit with her featured guests. She's sharing those powerful conversations with her listeners. We've got the full interview up on our YouTube page and our website, WKYC.com, so check that out. Also on WKYC Plus, which is where you are watching this, maybe. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you back tomorrow with more top stories from Northeast Ohio.